Hi, CIS50. How are you doing today? We're off to a bit of a late start for this week. We started late last week. We had all the getting started stuff and the week one stuff, and I've been spending the evening working out Zoom times based on all of your preferences. So it's been a little bit crazy. Anyhow, I apologize. Next week, we'll get back on track. So what I want to do tonight is give you an overview of the class, of what we're going to do this week and how we're going to use Zoom next week. So you'll be able to sign up this week for a time. So why don't we just jump in? Let me do a screen share. I like to show you around so you know what we have going on here. So there's an announcement up at the top. This week we're going to set the stage for the rest of our conversations because this is computer ethics. So we have to know what ethics are, right? Like I think we kind of know what ethics are, but have you ever really thought about what that means? And what context, and how does that apply to computer stuff anyhow? These are big questions, and there's lots of things that we're going to start to look at. But first, we're going to start with trying to figure out exactly looking kind of at the history a little bit, and then deciding what ethics are in the context that we'll be looking at them. So if you scroll down the page, you'll notice there's a week 2. Now, right now, you don't see anything for the video, but when I get done with the video, which this is the video, we'll put it right here. But the first place you always start is the checklist, well, the video and the checklist. So click the link to the printable version. That way it pulls it up for you full screen. And there's lots of useful information here, but mostly the video and this document are the glue that holds together all the other items on the page or on the week. And so what you're going to want to do is read down, but especially pay attention to the zooming around section. I know some people aren't that comfortable getting into Zoom and turning on your cameras. However, this is not a spectator sport. You've heard me say this already, and we've only been in class for a week. This is a participation activity. And so Zoom is where we're going to talk about some really interesting ideas. Next week, we have a big idea to talk about. As a matter of fact, we're going to play a game. I have it right over here. Should I show you? You want to see it? Hold on a second. We're going to play this game. Ha ha ha. Anyhow, you might wonder how that's going to work online, but you'll have to show up next week to find out. It's going to be fun. Because this week, I'm going to have you talk about the trolley dilemma. I'm going to have you read about it, watch a couple of videos about it. You know, it seems like it's really simple on the surface, but when you dig into it, there's a whole lot more there than what you think there is. Anyhow, so read through this because participation is key. This is a hands-on course, even if it's online. And the real value in this class is in the collaboration and discussion. Everything else is just flat. If you don't get a chance to talk about it with people and chew over some ideas and think some big thoughts, there's no point in even taking the class, quite honestly. And so if you're planning on showing up and not participating, like you're going to turn off your camera, sit in the back of the room and think you're going to get points checked off, you're going to have to guess again. However, if you're ready to jump in and have some good conversations and learn some things you never thought about before, then this is totally the right place for you. All right. But basically, I want you to show up prepared, ready to participate, ready to turn on your camera. If there's a really good reason to not turn on the camera, feel free to send me a message on your notes channel. But otherwise, that's my expectation, is that you'll have that on. I love this poem that is on the syllabus. I'm not going to read it to you again because I read it to you in the syllabus video. However, you are part of the microcosm that makes up this class. And so we need your ideas. We need your creativity. We need your curiosity. We need you to bring your A game to our Zoom sessions and to everything you do in the class because it's that important. Your ideas are that important. So as you go down the list, I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but just remember, there's a think section, and these are the videos that get your brain moving, and there's some questions, and oftentimes the questions will show up as part of the Zoom discussions the following week. There is a learn section, and so this particular week, we're going to look at philosophy. Like, what is philosophy, and what's philosophical reasoning, and what's induction and abduction? These crash course videos are fantastic. I think you'll really like them. Each of the videos is 10 or 12 minutes long. These ones happen to be 9 or 10 minutes long. They're not very long, but they're really, really good. So we use a couple of those throughout the class. And then there's the do section. And this might seem simple because you only have two things after all that stuff we had last week. I know it's crazy. And if you didn't finish the stuff last week, get to it, get it done early this week. The sooner the better. So I can check that all off. But on the surface, it sounds simple. We'll go to the assignment and I'll show you some stuff there. But anyhow, we're going to sign up for Zoom. There's some insights there. You're going to do a week 2 insight. We'll get to that for more details. And then I list a bunch of resources that you might find useful this week. So anyhow, this is a good place to start. Read over the checklist. So here's your links to the videos. Some of these things are articles, like on this particular one, there's an article and it's got a video embedded, an introduction to ethics, which is really interesting, I think. Because a lot of people talk about ethics, but you don't really know what it is. There's all those crash course videos. And here's the week 2 insight. So let me click on the week 2 insight. And what I'm going to ask you to do on this is take away an idea from the week. After you watch the videos, after you've read whatever there is to read, what is something that made you go, I hadn't thought about that before? Or, I wonder why it works that way. Or, I'm really curious to see something that really makes your brain spin a little bit. Okay, so pick something like that. And then maybe dig in a little deeper about it. See what else you can find out. And so you're going to describe your takeaway. And now there's a channel on Discord for this. Describe your takeaway and then include the reason why you picked it. Like, give me a good reason why you picked it. And then share a resource about it or that has to do with it. Now, the only catch on that is you need to make sure nobody else has posted the same link. If they posted the same link, you don't get credit for that part. Okay. So you have to look around, make sure, look up the thread. This is a time when posting early is to your advantage. And so you should probably plan on 1 or 2 good paragraphs, detailed paragraphs, enough to help me understand why you picked the thing you picked and why it made your beanie spin and what it is you want to know about it. All right. So that's your main homework for the week. Remember, I did say this was a thinking class. So that's what's under the week 2 tile. I'm going to show you one more thing and then we'll call it a night. Under the help desk, and I'm still working on this a little bit, but I went ahead and opened it anyhow. See if I can find it now. Here it is. Frequently asked questions. So this is based on the questions from the meet and greet sessions last week. Also from the meet and greet sessions that I've had the last couple of semesters. There's been some really good questions. If you want to see all the categories, just click on the table of contents. You can open it up in its own window by clicking on the little icon here. Anyhow, you're going to see there's a whole bunch of questions about the class, about using Zoom. You should read that before next week, that part. About the technology in general, about teaching. There's a lot of random stuff people have asked me, so I just kind of throw it in the random stuff category. I don't have all of the questions from last week put in there yet because I was working on getting some other stuff together, but I will add them. So this is a dynamic document. If there's a question I think that's really interesting for students, I'll stick it in there. Anyhow, you'll find that to be a really useful document, frequently asked questions right there. So I'm excited about this week. I'm super excited as I've had the opportunity to talk with a lot of you on the notes channel. I've met some people in Discord. I've met some people in Zoom. I think we have a really good group. I think the ideas we're going to talk about are going to be spectacular. And I'm really curious about that trolley thing. Are you going to flip the switch? I guess we have to wait till next week to find out.